I'm here. So the Fed lowered the rates. That's no surprise to me, and I think that we're going to have a really, really good 2027, 2026 as well. You know, I've been telling all my students, I'm not much of a speculator, but I want to talk a little bit about what I've been doing. And, I bought probably 16 or 17 homes in just this one neighborhood. And let me show you something. If you don't have my book, get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. If you're new to my channel, welcome here. Please hit that subscribe button. I've got one of the most successful mentorships and most unknown mentorships, Flip Anything University or Flip Anything USA. Many students done extremely well. So what I want to talk about, let me pull this off. So look, this is one of, I think, 17 houses that I bought in this one neighborhood. And I still have roughly, I don't know, nine in this area. And what I want to talk about with you guys is what I want to talk about the lines of convergence. And I've got a little chart that I drew up here a little bit. What do you guys think? What do you think is going to happen to yourself? What are your personal views? Don't be shy about sharing. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this. So what I've done, I bought 6 houses, I think, in the last 14 months. And again, I've flipped many houses in this area. And what I want to show you is that if you go down here and you look, this is where we were back in like 2022. You can see I go in here. The values were at 461 roughly. They peaked at about 540. Hey, good to see you in here, buddy. But what I want you to understand is there's an opportunity coming. And I've got a chart, and I want to show it to you. Now, this 307, I actually bought this house for $195. I could sell it today for $380. This isn't accurate, but this is an offer from Zillow. But we are probably in here at about, I don't know, I guess it's showing about 366. There's reasons for some of this showing as low as it does right there. But what I want to talk to you about is that this home was at, you can see it's showing as high as $540,000 according to Zillow. And I think safely it could have been sold at roughly $450, to be honest, $450. I think that's a little bit high. But I want to explain to you why this is going to return and what it's going to take to get there. Now, you guys know, if you know, I've been buying real estate for a very long time. And I'll go to Google Earth here just to kind of emphasize this to you. And I buy everything, right? I buy commercial, industrial, all those dots you see there are all properties that I own or have owned, and they're of all kinds. These are, in commercial buildings, industrial buildings, there's probably 40, 50 houses in here. And I've owned more than that, but that's what I've owned in Texas. And then you can go to California, and you'll see that I bought, another 100 properties there as well. And this is where I made my first million, was back in the 80s, right there. And that's why I'm such a believer in real estate, and why, I've been doing this since I was 19 years old. And my students are finding out, that this is the way to go. You won't even feel like you've hardly worked a day in your life, because you enjoy it so much. It really is the closest thing to being like a treasure hunter, where you're regularly finding treasure. It's a very, very cool thing. Yeah, I don't know why it's muffed, dude. I don't know what to tell you. It's the best I can do at the moment. But hopefully you can get through it and listen to what I got to say, hopefully. I don't know why it's so muffled. It sounds crystal clear to me. But, hey, I've got a webinar. I want you to see, I've got a webinar here, Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. If you go to the links below, you can go to flipanythingusa.com/webinar. I'll answer any questions you got. I'll show you apartment buildings I've made millions of dollars on, land I've made millions of dollars on, buildings I've made millions of dollars on, everything that you probably drive by. That's one of the things that's distinctly differently than other people you'll see, like Pace and these other guys. I actually have a long history of success and of buying everything, land, industrial, large acreage, small lots. And so I enjoy sharing it, but most of all, I really just hate to see anybody young get ripped off by one of these fake gurus and waste your time, because you only got so much energy, you only got so much youth, and you don't want to burn yourself out in your 20s. In my 20s, I was just making money. By the time I was 27, I was a millionaire. And that's really what I'd like to see everybody do. And, you know, I was just lucky that I got informed by 19 years old. And so, but let's go back to this property. Now, this property, this is typical of just about anywhere in the USA where people are working, and, you know, just in a decent city. I was comparing this to Colorado not too long ago. It was very similar in an area where you had $450,000 homes. Hey, Virgil, good to see you here. Virgil's also from the class. So, but this quarter point drop. Now, I made a chart. I want you to take a look at it. Let's get in here. All right, give me 1 second. We'll come right back. And be sure to get the mentorship. All right, so take a look at this chart that I've got right here. I'll make it stand out a little bit better by putting my book copy back here. So right now, if you look, the rates had gone down from, this is what this represents. So 3/4 of a point ago, right, it would cost you $2,450 for the payment would be on a $400,000 loan. Okay, so it drops 3/4 of a point. That takes you down to a flat 2,400. And here's what I'm talking about with the lines of convergence. Right now, to rent a home that's in that roughly $400,000, sorry, Verge, it's going to be echoed. There's just nothing I can do about it. I don't know why it does this, but it does it. I'll try to fix it. How's that? Is that better? Let me know quickly. Does that take care of it? That take care of the echo? Anyways, you let me know. Anyways, otherwise I'll keep proceeding. Anyways, this line here, let me fix this, make this a little bit bigger. So if we're only about 1.25 points, is that better, Verge? We're about 1.25 point from this kind of to where the payment where the payment will go from $2,450, it'll hit that 2,100 point. Now that's an important line, because 2,100 is pretty much the rental rate. That's about what rents are for this home right now. This home right here, this one rents for $2,100 a month, and that's on average what most of the homes rent for in that, you know, that are about, this one's 2,000 feet, but even if it was 1,700 square feet, it still rent for about 2,000. I've got some that rent for $2,450. But what's important here is that when this interest rate drops down to 4.85, okay, which still isn't as low as it was back here at its peak, but we're making more money. The people that are buying these homes, they're starting to make more money as well. All right, I guess we still got the echo. So I'm going to pull one more down. How's that? Nope. How about now? You still hear me? All right, Verge. That may be better now. I just took one more away. Let me know if you can't hear it at all. Anyways, but so this is what I'm going to go out on a limb and say. I'm not usually much of a speculator or predictor, but, you know, I've been around a long time, and I've been confident enough that I've been buying these homes up at a discount. In fact, I bought properties for under $300,000. About three of the last six properties. Four of the last 7 properties I bought under $300,000. I got a couple different neighborhoods I'm in that are all comparable to this one. And the reason I have is because I'm getting a 6% return on my money, and I feel confident that I'm going to make anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 on each of the homes that I've purchased. Okay, good. Now we got this. Oh, good. Thanks, Ken. Now I'm learning. I'm figuring this out. But so you guys follow me. We were here at 6.75 just recently, okay? And we don't even know exactly how much the rates are going to drop after this quarter point. They may go down even more. We'll see what happens. But the bottom line is, as far as the Fed rate goes, it's not going to take much more of a movement, about 1.25, and that's significant movement. But I think it's going to be really, really great for us, because at this point here, you're going to see me selling everything. As soon as we get down to this number here, you're going to see me selling off all the houses that I own. I got about, well, not every single one of them, but I'll probably sell, I'm still buying, right? I will sell at least 7 homes, okay? At least 7 of the homes that I own right now when we get to 4.85%. And I probably will pick up 2 or 3 more homes before we hit that. And so I just want you to know that every time I buy a house, I'm making $100,000 or more every time I buy a house, because I won't buy a house. You got to learn to keep your standards high. You know, if you set your standards low, the sub-2 garbage and this other stuff, that is lowering your standards so low. I've had so many sub-2 deals. I got to let these guys go ahead and throw their offers to me. And on average, the average sub-2 deal is a guy buys a property at a 4% interest rate. Sounds good, right? Except he's got to borrow his $20,000 EMD, which is terribly risky for anybody that loans it to him. And then he's got to pay a premium on that. So, but on the average sub-2 deal I've seen, these guys are paying $550 more than what the property would rent for. And so you're just better to wait it out. Owning a property, you don't own a property just for the privilege of owning it. You own it to make money. That's the only reason you own a property, is to make money. I mean, I've rented properties. I mean, the first 5 houses I lived in, I rented them. And I owned industrial buildings, I owned land, I was buying all kinds of stuff, because it doesn't make sense. If I can live cheaper renting, then I'm going to rent. But when it's appropriate, I buy, because that's where the money is really, really the best of all. And Verge knows, he's in the class, and he's seen, you know, the millionaires in the class, the new millionaires in my class, new multi-millionaires in the class. I got the best and brightest. And if you guys get in the webinar this Thursday, okay, Thursday 7 p.m. So 2 hours later than it is right now, in a day or two. And I'll show you so much great stuff. It'll blow your mind, okay? Whether you want to buy houses or land or commercial or industrial, apartment buildings. You know, I bought all those kinds of properties. There is no bad property. There's just bad deals. The key thing is you don't want to make a bad deal. And you guys that are out there that have never you're going to buy your first home, you know, maybe you got your gal and you've saved up. Listen, you want to take the webinar at a minimum and get my book, because you don't want to buy your first home without buying my book or talking to me. Because listen, I don't care if you join the course or not, or, you know, not everybody can join anyways. I tell more people no than yes. But my point is that if you've got the ability to buy a home, don't squander that opportunity. You want to buy your first home. You want to get it for like $100,000 under market. And you want to lock in a good rate, whatever that rate may be at that time. You know, when I was buying property in the beginning, my interest rate was 10% all the way from 1981 to 1990, 1991. My interest rate was 10%. I got 9.25% loan from one bank. Can you tell me how to start in real estate with $250K? Oh yeah. Listen, listen. If you got $250,000 or even $100,000, believe me, you're set. You can. That's the place to begin. You know, you only need. I mean, 50,000. I like everybody to have 50,000 that's in my class. You know, a lot of people, they'll say, "I'll get in the class even if you got to borrow it all and you don't have any money." I would never tell you that. I don't think that's the truth. There's a lot of slimy salesmen that sell the fake guru courses, and they're getting a 20-30% commission. They'll say anything to get you to part with your money. I won't do that. So listen, what I would tell you, SSW Repair, is go to flipanythingusa.com and hit apply. There's apply for the mentorship, and it just asked a couple of questions. I'll text you. We'll have a quick phone call, and I'll tell you exactly what you should do with your 250, and I'll tell you if you might be qualified to get in. But let me just tell you what you can do with 250. I just bought a house for $228,000, and the house that I bought, the same house in the same tract, sold for $560,000. So I bought that property for half of what the same plan sold for last year. And so that's what you could do with 250. You could double your money on one deal. And you could even do better than that. You know, I bought a $400,000 property for $80,000 once. I bought a $1 million property for $205,000. You know, I paid $240,000 for a building that I sold for $1,600,000. 725, 1.7 million. I bought a piece of land for 205. I sold for 2.8 million. And there's people in my class that have bought $5 million buildings for $2 million, $7 million building for $2.1 million. You can do a lot, but you need to really, in all honesty, if you're running a fast track, you got to have a good mentor, and that's what I am. I'm a really, really good mentor, and I've got the chops, and I've got the background, and I've got the portfolio to back it up. All this stuff you see behind me, and a lot more. And not only that, I've got proof of concept with my students. My students are just killing it, and Virgil's in the class too. But get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. That's the best place for anybody to start because it's only 10 or 20 bucks. You know, you throw 10 grand into some garbage guru, and now you're upside down 10 grand. And even worse is taking their advice and buying some piece of crap that balls you up for the next 10 years. So, anyways, are you gonna write me Repair? Are you? Let me know. Anyways, I'll be looking for you. Anyways, so back to this. So what I wanted to tell you is that, you know, this, of course, this goes up, and when it starts going down, that's the rate going up. When the rate goes up, the values go down, right? And that's what they've been doing. Now they're going down, 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 and now they're going back up. They're slowly. It's not really perceptible yet, but you're really going to see things kind of go up like a hockey stick with probably about another 3/4 of a point. Maybe it just depends. You have to. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but you'll see things. They're going in the right direction, right? All the leases that I'm renewing right now, I'm only taking to about February of 2027. That's when I will sell off 90% of the homes that I own. I will sell off February of 2027. You guys can write that down, mark me down if you don't believe me, you know, and maybe I'll be wrong. You know, I tell my class all the time, I say, the only thing I know for sure is I don't know for sure, okay? And you can't, because government intervention usually messes everything up. But with an exception of, we have a really smart president. We have a guy that understands business, understands numbers, and he you know, he's determined to make things better, and he did last time he was in office, and he's going to do it again. I'm a big supporter of president, and I'm looking forward to cashing in on you know, one more time, at least before I retire. I'm already kind of retired. When I say I'm retired, I've got, my daughter's 30 years old. She just took over my portfolio. They have 4 kids, and you know, I'm glad that she's got her interest in what she's doing with me now. She's been a master's in accounting for a big firm, and now she manages all this real estate you see back here. And so she gets paid well, and I get to pull a check, and I get to do what I want to do, which is teach other people how to, you know, get richer faster than I did. That's really my goal, is just to get you richer faster than I did. And I'm succeeding, and Virgil will tell you, he's seeing it happen in the class as well. So I'll just go back to my iPad here just for a second. And so, like I said, here we are, or now we're here. And as this goes down, once we get to 4.85, we'll be comparable with what rent for those homes is right now, okay? And with that number, we kind of get taken back to the top, okay? Because, you know, here we were, 480. We've gone down, and you're going to see this come back up. We're not there yet, but we're going to get back up here. And that'll be the time. You know, if you can kind of get within 20% of the peak, that's a really good time to sell. If you can get anywhere in that 20% of the top, and that's a home run. I've been very successful in selling properties that when they peaked, I've sold them, you know, very close to the top. Maybe not quite to the top, but that's okay, because I got out, and then they went back down, and I bought back the same properties that I had previously sold before, and you know, just kind of rinsed and repeated. So Repair, what do you do? Are you a contractor? Anybody here? What are your thoughts? What do you guys think is going to happen? Are you excited? Are you concerned? Are you worried about your jobs? You know, what ails you right now? I'd be curious to know. Let's see. If you got $250,000, dude, you're in great shape. I would tell you, even if you have $50,000, you're a lot better off than a lot of people, and you would have enough money that you can kind of get in my class. And I don't want your money. I mean, I'm going to charge you, of course. I'm probably one of the most expensive mentorships there is, but I'm also the best one. That I know. I know I'm the best. So, and you'll see that when you get in. You'll know that right away. So sign up for the webinar. If you're watching, go to the links below, flipanythingusa.com. You'll see where to sign up for the webinar. And you'll get sent the link to get in. And I'm going to knock it out in 45 minutes, maybe less. We'll try to do it in 30 minutes. And you'll see what you see. And, it'll be good to see where you go from there. Okay, so you own a couple of tobacco shops. Used to be in the phone business, but switched to something more passive. Okay, I guess I don't understand the tobacco shops. I mean, you like a vape shop or something different? I've got vape shops. I got a couple of vape shops that rent from me. I got hookah lounges. I get hookah lounges approaching me all the time. I just don't know. Oh, you're in Minnesota too, huh? Jeez. You guys got a mess up there, right? In the news anyways. Anyways, so this is really all I wanted to leave everybody with is till you get in the webinar 2 days from now, right? Thursday, or actually it's tomorrow. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow 7 p.m. Central. And I'll take any questions you have. If you want to know about anything you want to know about, just so you know, you go out here, you're going to see money made on acreage. There's 180 homes on that 50 acres that I bought for $200,000. Industrial buildings. I sold this piece of land here just recently for $2.5 million. I bought this building for $1.6 million, and the money I made that $1.6 million off of a $400,000 purchase of 3 houses. And that's what I teach you to do. And houses, let me tell you, houses, look at all those houses. Those are all houses that I own or have owned. Some I've sold. Over here, same here. Cluster of homes. I own some of these still. Some I still own, some I don't. Office buildings. That's office building I actually built. Commercial. This is a flex space. I still own that. That's 20,000 square feet. This is a property by the freeway. I still own that property. Other retail centers. If you like retail property, I love retail stores. I love industrial. I have warehouses, and you do want to own that stuff. Hey, Grant, good to see you in here. There's just so many. There's just so many options. In fact, you know what? I bought my kids. This was my kids' skating rink. I bought my kids' skating rink. I also bought my kids' Montessori school, and they went there for a long time. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, the question was, if I sign up for your mentorship, will you walk me through the steps and buy my? Yeah, of course. Listen, the whole purpose of the mentorship is to prevent you from making a mistake and to make sure you make as big a profit as you possibly can. And you can go, and I'll just take you guys over here real quick. Some of you guys know this already, but go to Flip Anything USA. And what you'll see is just on that front page, you can go down here and look at Shane here. He made about almost 200,000 in his first 7 months. Jerry's done tens of properties, and he made probably $1 million plus $2 million on that building you see behind him. Garrett, he made $15,000 using the book. And then came in and he's made a bunch more. Eric's made over $1 million. Steve's made over $1 million. Herb's out there in New York where people think, oh, everything's too expensive. And then here's Shane again, where now he's made about $500,000 with his wife, Dee Dee. It's really great when you get couples that work together. But, the worst thing is having somebody that's in the way. Ron actually was one of my first students that I did an interview with. The first time I did an interview with, and he wasn't really into real estate. He'd made $200,000. Now he's over $4 or $5 million. And Rich here, he's a multimillionaire now. Chris, over $1 million. Tina, she'd done really well. And Liam also, he's out in New Jersey, they like to call it. Josh is out in Vegas. Chris is in Austin. He's probably made about $1 million. Ken's made a couple $1 million. This couple, husband and wife, got in. They, boom, knocked one out of the park right away, made $70,000 really quick and easy. This is all very real. And I just tell you, there's so much fluff and garbage out there, and the guys that are the most popular are the most full of shit. They are the ones that know the least. They hype. They have a wall of salespeople that will say and do anything to talk you into a sale. They'll say anything they'll say anything you want to hear. And then that way they're one off, right? They didn't screw you, the sales guy did. So anyways, I would just urge you to take time, go to the webinar tomorrow night, 7 p.m. And I'm open book. And like I say, I don't care if you join or not. I just, if I can inform you so you don't make a stupid mistake, then that works for me. And anyhow, Grant, real deal. What's up with you, Grant Lee? Anything new for you? What do you got? Ironwood. Hadn't seen you in here in a while. But it's anyways, it's a great time. It's a really, really, I'm going to tell you, Trump is good. Trump is the guy you want. You'll make money while Trump's in office. Nobody could believe what happened after he was gone, how fastly you could screw this country up. I thought for sure, even when Trump, did not get back in office, I didn't think that they could undo the good that he did, but man, was I wrong. Was I ever wrong? The inflation, the money giveaways, bringing in, all these thugs and criminals and people into our country. And you got people that can't even, read, know our language, read our language. I mean, it's like taking in a bunch of babies that not just babies, but these babies are having babies. And it's just, it's just a mess. And so you really want to take this opportunity while you have such a solid president, someone that's pro-America, pro-growth. This is your chance. You got 3 years that you can go out and make a lot of money before the next administration F's it up, because that could happen. It could happen. They stole it once, they could steal it again. It's just hard to know. So, anyways, I look forward to seeing you guys, and please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. A lot of people come in here and they don't subscribe, but they come in regular, but they're not subscribers. They watch, and that's a shame. And like I said, if you don't have the book, get the book. And but I really hope to see you guys come in here and get in tomorrow and ask some great questions. Ask hard questions. If you're ever going to go into a webinar or anything, you really you owe it to ask tough questions. You need to ask questions. Like, show me that you made $1 million. Show me that you made $10 million, or show me that you made $100,000. Some of these fake gurus, they haven't even made $100,000, and they're advising people on making decisions that are, can really, really change their life in a bad way if they do the wrong thing. So, anyways, I'll leave it at that, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.